a credit line for like $50,000. How much did I say the property is worth? 20. Well, the purchase price, because the purchase and the value are two different things. So I paid $25,000 for the property. Now the property was what's called a turnkey property. Write that word down. Essentially what that means is that property was already, it had a tenant in place already. So my all-in cost was $25,000, and month one I started making money. Now the rents from that property was $975 a month. How much were the rents? $975. My debt servicing from the credit card was $300 because it was at 0%. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how people get rich in real estate. Peace fam, what's going on? Will Roundtree here, and I am out here in Cleveland, Ohio, with On Our Block tour with my man Steve from MocaFi. Look, I'm excited because I get to be a part of a community organization that is helping people with home ownership, home development, investing, getting your finances right, getting your banking right, and everything in between. So come with me as I am out here, and I'm going to educate the people. So make sure you got your pens, your pads, your notebook, your iPad, your phone, all of that. Make sure you take notes, because a short pencil is better than a long memory.
Taking down.
Cleveland, Ohio. It's one of the places where it all started.
Taking down. Let's get down. Taking down.
Up like VIP, man.
What up, man? Pretty good, man.
Nice to meet you, brother.
Pretty good.
Just want to say thank you, man. Just following you has just been an incredible, man.
Thank you, man.
Just your Instagram and your lives and everything. Just following the process, you know. I made $175,000.
Oh, shit.
Just the information. Just the information.
That's dope, man.
So it's been, you know.
Absolutely. What's your name?
Thank you. Yeah, Abdul.
Abdul.
Yeah.
Appreciate
I met
it,
you in Atlanta.
Okay.
The last program that you had in Atlanta.
Right.
Yeah, I was there.
Hey, I'm good. Not including your entitlements, you got to deal with the city.
So wait, so run that back. So we got to go camp right now. So you basically said, like, basically in terms of buying a plot of land and building, you said that doesn't make sense.
So especially an unseasoned investor. So this is what I always tell. This is my thought process, and you let me know what you think. I always tell a brand new investor, your first property should be turnkey or as close to turnkey because you mitigate your risk.
Yeah.
If you're trying to do like a development, go partner with a developer. But if you're just gonna buy like a plot of land and you think you about to build a fourplex by yourself, first of all, let's say you got a hard money loan.
It's gonna be expensive already.
Well, not only that, it won't even be done by the time that notice due. So you're gonna refinance at least 3 times. Your refinance fee may be $10,000. So if you refinance 3 times, that's 30 grand. That ain't even including what it's gonna cost you for permits, for utilities, for entitlements. Like, yeah, man. And most people, first of all, you're gonna run out of money. And most people don't have the stomach for error.
And the hard money loan, they get to dictate if they want to loan you the money again or not.
No.
They can say no, so you can go and say I want an extension, and they can say no and take your whole property. Easy, and you just don't put all that work into it. You did the hard work. They gonna come in and rehab it and do what they need to do and keep it going.
Yeah, as a new investor, you don't even know what the contract is doing, so they can scam you on the contract side.
9 times out of 10, they probably are.
Yeah.
But what I like what you tell your people though is buy a single family. Like if you're a new investor, your students, it's good that you tell your students to get a single family property because if they try to get they don't even understand a 6-unit is a commercial property. So you're gonna go buy a 6-unit property. Not this your first time buying a property. You don't even know the laws around a commercial property. It's a completely different process. Like go get a single family, see how it works, and then figure out what you want to do after that.
That's because people get caught up in the appearance of what real estate is. I know a lot of people who got multi-families ain't making no money from them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so I tell people, you just want to get your foot in the door. So get that single family, find out like the good, the bad, and the ugly about investing, how to deal with the banks, what insurance gonna look like, your maintenance of the property. Like every time the toilet go out, you gotta fix that. Every time the hot water go out, like you got a 6-unit and it's an old ass building and it got 4 hot water tanks. It's like, so in most new investors don't have the money to cover their capital expenditures throughout holding that property. And 2, most brand new investors, and this is investing in anything, don't have the stomach to deal with error. What you gonna do when, because you at the tilt of all your money and you don't get insurance and somebody tells you they burn your property down?
Or they just stop paying rent.
Or they just stop paying rent. Like,
Being a landlord is tough. They don't really understand. That's why people get property managers to handle this stuff.
And now you got
And that's another
squatters.
cost.
You can't even kick people out your property.
and you can't kick people out your property. Especially if you don't know the laws in that state. All because you're trying to save that 10%. But that's why I teach them to calculate the 10% in their ROI. So now you're not even thinking about it. But no, we want to be a real estate tycoon day 27.
Go get a 100-unit property. We got a 100-unit property over here.
And that's the hardest thing is like, I ain't gonna say hardest thing, but that be the thing is you have to bring a person to a reality of what real estate is. Not what's realistic, but the reality of what real estate is. People think real estate is like glamorous. No, that shit. It's
Easy
not for
money,
the,
quick money.
it's not for the weak, man.
It takes work just like everything else.
Just like business, not for the weak. And that's why I keep saying, look, we got to look at this like a business, not no hobby. Like when I be seeing people be like, oh, I own this property and this property, and I'm already calculating what their potential debt service is. I'm like, oh, you ain't even making no money. Like, that's very common. Remember, I was at a casino one day, and this guy was asking me what I do. And I was like, oh, I'm an investor, and, just doing small talk. And he was like, oh, man, you probably killing it with the real estate out here in Vegas. And I said, I don't even invest out here. He was like, why not? The Raiders are here, the Lakers coming, this, that. And I'm like, that don't mean, you know what I'm saying? But what I learned, don't argue with people who don't know nothing.
Fuck you mean?
Yeah. Like, you cannot argue with people who don't know what they're talking about.
100%.
Fuck you mean? What you talking about?
100%. You ain't gonna be able to tell who the fool.
Man.
Not
Like
knowing
weed lounge.
the average house in Vegas is $480,000.
The rent won't even cover that.
The rent won't cover it. Rent still $800 a month.
People that are renting don't got some houses when they was 75.
Yeah, so it's like, but because a person don't even understand that dynamic of like basic math or economics or debt servicing, yeah, I'm like, I don't even entertain that shit.
Huge.
But that's the thing that I like about the REI90. That's really what we doing, man. Like, we teaching them at a different level. It ain't just about X's and O's, even though they may think that. But no, man, we really teaching them stuff that's applicable in everything they go in attempt to do.
Right. Even if they decide to get out of real estate, they still got the business understanding.
Attorneys, like have your people, because you got to have the boots on the ground to take care of it for you. So I talk a lot about that.
So the city of Cleveland, they just passed something called Residents First. Like, even if
I saw that.
Investor,
Wisconsin's trying to do that too, because I'm from Milwaukee.
You gotta have somebody local on the ground. Because, like, ain't nobody responsible. And I ain't gonna lie, there's a lot of people who don't look like us buying these properties.
From out of the country, all over, Because what they're doing is they trying to drive us out. So then they can come back in and now buy everything around there, pennies on the dollar.
But this ain't your first time Cleveland, so like where we're at right now, like this is basically next to University Circle.
We were just over there.
Right, the museum. So where I bought my house at, I'm 2 blocks from the museum, the orchestra, like world class.
So you're right in the hub of
2 blocks. So I paid $219 for my house, and it's like houses selling for $4 and $5.
I'm about to say it's probably doubled by now.
On my block. So like I had people calling, offering cash for my house all the time.
Don't sell.
I'm not. but what if I was desperate?
We got to show you how to just borrow from it.
Exactly.
I tell people, don't sell. Borrow from it.
That's what we try to do with the bank.
It's going to be tax-free.
Exactly.
So, the money going to be cheap.
Build trust between the bank and the community.
And that's where I come in at. Because people don't understand a bank can be your ally or it can be your enemy. Now, if you're burning the banks, they're going to be your enemy. But if you know how to partner and work with them, the only way banks make money is if we use their money.
And people don't realize, like, we want to make a loan.
I know. That's what makes my program so powerful, because I partner them to show them how to use the bank products. Hey, let me show you how to go get a line of credit from the bank for real estate.
Roundtree, founder of Management Services, REI90. Will's story is amazing. From homeless to millionaire, he's established himself as a staple in the real estate investment sector. At We Management, he has helped over 1,500 small to medium-sized businesses get access to over $400 million in funding. And Will is definitely a testament to On Our Block and building wealth from scratch, no matter where you start from. And there are definitely lessons learned that we can share and talk about here today. So Will, please come up. Thank you.
Before I go into my answer, I want y'all to give everybody who put this event together a round of applause. Hold on. Because I've traveled the country and I've been doing this for about 7-8 years. And usually you gotta pay top dollar to have something like this. So I want y'all to stand up and give MocaFi, give KeyBank, everybody here, Ishmael, a round of applause for having this event. All right, thank you. I just wanted to see if y'all would do what I said. All right, so my journey actually started further back than I actually realized, and I didn't realize it until one day I thought back. My grandfather in 2003 tried to give me 45 houses, and I turned it down. I know I ain't the first one that did that, but I turned it down because of the way they looked. I turned it down because of the neighborhood they were in. And he actually owned all of these houses free and clear. And today, though, that portfolio, those houses that we call in the hood, would be valued at over $5 million right now. Which means if I would have got it, I probably wouldn't be here, Steve, okay? So, yeah, the universe made sure I stayed poor back then, okay? And so, fast forward, as I started to see that, I wasn't taught about finances. We didn't talk about credit. We didn't talk about money growing up in my household. And so, I went to school, got good grades, attempted to go to college, eventually actually dropped out because my economics teacher told me that I couldn't be rich following the strategies in my economics class. So I actually quit school, went into the workforce, and I thought I was going to retire from the company that I was working at. I was literally marking the X's off every single year so I can get the gold watch and the lapel to put on my jacket. And in 8 years into that, the company shut down. Didn't know what I was going to do, and actually stumbled into entrepreneurship. And so the thing that I learned about entrepreneurship, and one of the things that as I traveled that I really try to teach people, and I know both Malik and Steve have mentioned this, is that you got to have a different mindset first. And I have this thing where I talk about the 4 pillars of wealth building: mindset, understanding credit, understanding finance, and then asset building. And so when I got into entrepreneurship, I quickly understood that I had to unlearn everything that I was taught about money. And that's because everything that I was taught about money growing up was evil. We were taught money was the root of all evil. Credit is, we were taught all of the negative cliches. And so I literally had to surround myself with polished and more, people who were a lot smarter than me at the time, and this was in 2003. And so kind of to fast forward the story, in 2005, I had the opportunity to move to Las Vegas. I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, so, not too far from here. And I moved to Las Vegas with $500 to my name. I actually borrowed $500. It wasn't even mine. And so, but when I moved to Las Vegas, I quickly found out, first of all, $500 doesn't go very far. How many people would agree? And this was in 2005. So moved to Las Vegas, quickly found out $500 doesn't go far, end up having to sleep in my car and do all of these different things. But the one thing that kept me in the game was I knew that pain was temporary, because I had worked on my mindset before I became who I am today. And so I often tell a lot of up-and-coming entrepreneurs, you have to become who you want to become first. So if you want to be a millionaire or a trillionaire or whatever nair that you want to put at the end of it, you have to become that individual up here first. And so to answer your story, I got into this entrepreneurship because of my own personal need, because I'm not going to miss out on $5 million real estate portfolio again. And I knew that I didn't want to work for nobody. So that's kind of how I got into this space. So the first one is, and anybody who know me personally, I'm big on definitions. Because I think often we use words, we have no idea what they mean. I'll give you an example. How many people know that faith and fear they embody the same thing? Because both of them deal with the unknown. Now, within that faith or within that fear, because people often say, well, I'm scared to go after my dreams, or I'm fearful, or whatever the case may be. And so whenever I go into a room, I always dispel the myth of fear. And I'll give you all an example. Who would like to know what that example is? So the first one, how many people in here have children or a loved one? Okay, so we're in this room, and they're in that building across the street. It's on fire. How many people are going over there? But you're not scared of fire? Why not? See, did you know that fire can hurt you or help you? See, we're not scared of anything. I'll tell you what it is. It's a word called endure, is what we're scared of. Let me tell you what the definition of endure means. Suffer patiently. See, we want to be rich today. We want to get all the key bank's money today.
Me too. What's wrong with that? She right here.
So a part of one of those traits, Steve, is that we have to be willing to endure what it takes to get to that goal. Because I know a lot of my fellas, y'all endure all the time. You'll chase after a certain lady for 5 years after she done told you no. Done blocked you, put you on D&D, you calling her, but we won't endure for our goals. First thing that I would say, and even before I say that, I want to preference something. I read an article that said that the average net worth for a black family is about $17,000 to $24,000. We drive cars worth more than that. And the average net worth for our counterparts, whites and Asians, are about $146,000 to $196,000. And that net worth for black, that's for a college graduate. That's not like a dropout. And so when I started to dig a little bit deeper to figure out what is the barometer that is that defining line, and it was homeownership. We have to start owning things. And so as I started to learn these concepts of, first of all, why they made us call our neighborhoods the hood, because it's value in places where we don't want to live. And so I actually bought my very first investment property out here in Cleveland. I've never even been to Cleveland up until that point. So essentially what I'm saying is you guys are sitting on a gold mine. Because if you don't buy them, me, Malik, Smalls, and Steve will buy up everything. I need some more too. And so I bought my very first property here, and I'm gonna tell you guys exactly how I did it. Okay?
Can you tell them where?
Oh yeah, it was off of East Cleveland. East Cleveland.
EC, now you gotta say EC.
EC. EC. Now, I paid $25,000 for that property. I need you guys to take out your pens and pads, type in your phones, because a short pencil is better than a long memory. You're not gonna remember everything we say here today if you don't write it down. Okay, so I started to learn that most successful, wealthy, and affluent people do not use their own money. And so when I learned and understood that strategy, I said, okay, if I don't have any money, how can I get some money? So I went to a bank and I got a credit card that would give me enough money to be able to purchase my first investment property. So I bought my first property with a credit card. Thank you. The 13-year-old was more excited than the adults. You want to know why I was excited about that? Because I know some of y'all are about to go spend some money on your credit cards tonight. At Jack's Casino. The casino take credit cards?
Oh, well.
Okay.
They take everything.
They take everything.
Literally.
And so check this out. Here's something I need you guys to really understand. The Da Vinci Code is, we have to understand, write this word down, economics. See, the economics of how money and currency and all of these things work, that's why we got to learn these definitions. See, I went to the bank, got a credit line for like $50,000. How much did I say the property is worth? 20. Well, the purchase price, because the purchase and the value are two different things. So I paid $25,000 for the property. Now the property was what's called a turnkey property. Write that word down, turnkey. Essentially what that means is that property was already, it had a tenant in place already. So my all-in cost was $25,000. In month one, I started making money. Now, the rents from that property was $975 a month. How much were the rents? $975. Okay, my debt servicing from the credit card was $300 because it was at 0%. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how people get rich in real estate. They go and use somebody else's money. Ladies, I know y'all know about that. In a good way. My fellas, we do too. And so, we're gonna use somebody else's money. Everybody say OPM. We're gonna use the bank's money. We're gonna go buy the real estate. The rent is gonna cover the debt from the credit line. And then we make what's called a ROI, which stands for what? Return on investment. And then you just rinse and repeat that.
You wrote that down? Return on investment.
Now, I'm gonna give y'all one last strategy, then I'm gonna pass this to Malik. So now, as I hold the property, here's what happens. It increases in value. And so as that property increases in value, it's not worth $25,000, it's now worth $50, $70, $100. And as the value increases, did you know you can borrow against that property tax-free? So now I can go and pull up to 80% of that property value out, take that money, pay off that credit card. I now have that $25,000 again. I can put that money in from the property that I borrowed against, and now I can go buy another investment property. How much did it cost me to get that first investment?
$300.
What was $300?
Your initial cost for the credit card
No, you don't. No, out of your pocket. Zero. It was zero.
But you had your credit fee to get approved.
No, you don't.
That's what you said.
No, I didn't. You didn't write that part down. No, I said the $300 was the credit card payment, but the rents pay that.
So it's got you a $600 cash.
There you go. But it didn't cost us anything out of our pockets. This is why we have to learn these strategies. This is why we have to learn these concepts. This is why we got to continue to have these type of forums and learn. But then once you learn, you got to go implement. See, we can't keep just going to free events and taking pictures. And I know y'all want to take pictures with everybody. No, we need to go implement. Because this is a bunch of property. We drove through the neighborhoods and I'm seeing stuff for like $7,000 for sale. It don't matter. It's 7,000. we just got, because here's the thing about real estate. It will always do what?
Appreciate it.
It will always go up. Yes.
Okay, so I have a question and potentially a follow-up. So what year did you buy your first investment property?
2017.
Okay, so I've been trying to buy my first investment property for the past probably 6 months. I've gone to a couple of different banks, and the interest rates on key bank and key lines, they told me 13% APR.
Okay, so let's address that, because that is a concern. Here's the thing. She said that she was trying to get into getting her first real estate deal, but the interest rates were a little bit more than, probably what she would like them to be. Here's the thing. We got to understand math. You have to know how to evaluate the deal to make sure that the deal makes sense. Because I meet a lot of people, like prime example, I live in Las Vegas. The average purchase price for a house in Las Vegas is about $500,000 right now. Okay? And so at $500,000 at, let's say, 9%, my mortgage payment may be about $4,500. The most I can rent that place out for may be $2,900. Does that math make sense? No, so you just stay away from those deals. But we have to, like Malik said, we have to get mentors that teach us what a good deal looks like. We can't just go buy real estate because it's next to the stadium. We can't just go buy real estate because Amazon coming to town. Like, we have to know, there has to be a purpose behind how we do it. So we probably just need to show you how to evaluate deals, because there's a lot of great deals out here. Somebody just sent me a deal today, $55,000 all in, turnkey, and is getting $1,200 a month in rent. So either I can pass that on to y'all or I'll buy it myself. You want it? Okay, I'll connect you. It's one factor. Right. But even at the rates, when I did my calculations, debt services in still gives you a profit margin. And because I'm playing real estate for the long-term game, you date the rate. I'm dating the rate because I'm looking to hold that property forever. Because here's another thing that we do too much in our community. We trying to get into real estate to quit our job. So we buy one property and think it's going to change our life. No, real estate is your retirement plan. It's your retirement plan. And then, last thing, we got to stop selling big mama houses. Yeah, now there's definitely other strategies that go along with it, but that's why we got to educate ourselves. We can't just say, oh man, I tried that. Like, you can't try to do something. If I drop a pin on the floor, you can't try to pick it up. You either do or you don't. And so we got to be able to endure it. Like Robert Kiyosaki said, he went and evaluated 100 deals before he did his first deal. And so I know a lot of people have a bad taste in their mouth because their cousin tried it or their uncle tried it. Well, I can tell you they didn't try it the right way. That's usually why real estate doesn't work for a lot of people. So I meet a lot of people who we've inherited homes from our grandparents. And because we look at the upkeep or the maintenance, or we think we can't afford to fix it up, or we just don't want to pay the taxes on it, we lose it for pennies on the dollar. That's where education comes in, that we have to become more educated on just the home buying process. Learning how to properly deed the properties out, sitting down with professionals, going to meet with title companies. We may have to invest and get an attorney to clear some names off of the title. And so we just got to start being able to make those investments. And I get, we're always like, man, but it takes money. Look, here's the thing that I learned about real estate, and maybe you could attest to this, Malik. No good deal will ever go unfunded. Somebody is always willing to put some money up, because when you have some form of collateral, somebody is willing to back that particular dwelling if the deal is structured properly. I've done private investments in property for individuals as long as I knew that my money is protected. And we're not going to learn this in just today's setting. These are things that we have to be able to sit down with professionals become a professional at hiring professionals to learn these type of things. And that's the thing that I'm always stressing to people that I work with, is that we have to learn these things, and we can't keep using, oh, I don't know, or nobody was there to teach. Look, we know how to do all of the TikTok dances, and we know all of the rap lyrics. We can learn how to do our financial balance sheets and how to leverage credit. We have to. Yeah, so I think a lot of the times we make the process more complicated. We go get some contractors so they can quote it out for you. I mean, I even show people how to run deal evaluations using AI. And so we try to sit there and think we have to know all, like, no, it's tools out there that can help you for free. But we have to be willing to put in a little bit of sweat equity to go find these things and learn these things. And yeah, it's not gonna happen overnight, but we gotta be willing to ask the right questions, connect with the right people, get in the right form. And it may even cost you to sit down. You may have to pay somebody to sit down with them to learn this stuff. And we can't, but we gotta be willing to make those investments in ourselves. Also,